Great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye pathmakers of old, ancestors of our bloodlines, of all of our adopted lineages, O ye beings of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Om Saha Navavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadidam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. May there be peace between us. May the communication between us be clear, be ease-filled. May no harm come between us. Om Shri Ravi Vanamaha. Om Shri Chandra Vanamaha. Om Shri Mangala Vanamaha. Om Shri Buddhi Vanamaha. Om Shri Brihaspati Vanamaha. Om Shri Sukra Vanamaha. Om Shri Sani Vanamaha. Om Shri Rahu Vanamaha. Om Shri Ketu Vanamaha. Om Shri Uranus Vanamaha. Om Shri Neptune Vanamaha. Om Shri Pluto Vanamaha. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. In the ancient days, there was a monastery, and all who entered the monastery took the vow of celibacy, of brahmacharya. No mingling with the other sex. The thoughts arose in the mind, neti, neti, neti. So, we have in the monastery a young man who has just come. He's only been there about a year. And a monk who had been there for many decades. The abbot calls them together and says, I'd like you to go over and take this book to the abbot at the monastery across the mountain. It'll take you a couple of days, but I'd like the two of you to get to know each other. And he leans to the older monk's ears and says, teach him, teach him. It will be a very interesting trip. Off they go. Beautiful day, singing, chanting, beautiful day. All of a sudden the clouds come in, it starts to rain, and the road gets puddles in it. Mud puddles. So they see ahead of them a cart, a carriage if you will, more a cart than a carriage. It's stuck in the mud. And in it is a beautiful young woman dressed in her finest attire. Oh, she was so beautifully dressed. She looked so pretty. A long dress on and a beautiful hat, and her bracelets were piled up her arms, and she clearly was going someplace very special. The elder monk approached. Said, good day, ma'am. Namaste, ji. There seems to be a problem. Yes, I'm trying to get to my parents' house for a big party, big anniversary party, and I can't get out of the hole here. I don't know what to do. And they live just across the way. I just have to get across the way. No worries. Please, come here. Come a little closer. I'll carry you across to your mom and dad's, and then we'll come back and take care of the cart. The young monk is looking. What's going on? He talked to this woman, and now he's going to carry her across? What is going on here? And he says, we're going to take care of her cart? Yeah, what is this? You know, we're not some schleps. The older monk reaches out. She reaches over and she puts her arms around his neck. He picks her up. Very strong. He's been working for a long time. And he walks through the mud and gets her to the other side. He walks through several holes of mud and muck, but gets her to a clear path to Mom and Dad's. He says, please, we'll leave your cart by the side. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. Thank you, sir, thank you, thank you. And off she goes to enjoy her family party. And elder goes back and sees younger is stewing, and he says, no reason to stew, let's get the cart out of here. So they work and work and work, and they get the cart out and put it over by the side and send the horse on its way to Mom and Dad's. It knows the way. And the monks go along their way. And the elder is Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. He's got his mala underneath his coat and he's singing, chanting, very happy, enjoying the day. And the younger monk, each step that he takes, it's harder and harder and harder. He gets into the ground. He's leaving big footprints in the ground. He's stomping. He's stomping. He is so angry. The anger grows and grows and grows, and with each step that he takes, it grows. Yeah, they walk. The older monk pretends like he's not seeing what's going on next to him. He ignores him. They walk an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And instead of this helping the younger monk, it got worse. He was possessed with such anger, he could barely stop himself from reaching over and shaking the older monk. He couldn't stand it. It comes time for lunch. They stop. They've been walking about 5 hours now. The older monk pulls out a little piece of fruit and offers it to the younger one. I will not take any food from you. Oh, is there a problem? You are a fake. You are a hypocrite. You denied all of our vows. I can't believe the abbot sent me off with you. Just you wait until I tell him what you did. You are going to be in so much trouble. You're going to be kicked out of the order. Really? Is that so? Is that so? Is there a problem here, son? You know what the problem is. You know. You walk around acting like you are so holy. You walk around acting like you are so good, but I know you are not, and I have seen it with my own 2 eyes. What an evil, fake liar you are. Is that so? Can you tell me what's bothering you? You want to tell me what's bothering you? Yes, I do. I've been wanting to tell you for hours now. You touched that girl. You let her put her arms around your neck. You carried her close to you over that mud. You carried her. You carried her in your arms over that mud. You're not supposed to touch a woman. What is wrong with you? I put her down after the 3 minutes it took me to carry her over the mud. Yeah. Looking at the sun. Seems to me like you've been carrying her for 6 hours. And your mind has gotten more and more angry and more upset. Yeah. We take vows to help those in need. She needed help. We helped her. I picked her up, yes. Tell the abbot, doesn't matter. He would expect no less of me. I picked her up and I put her down. And you, my son, have carried her for 5 hours, 6 hours, and you have fed that anger into your mind. You have criticized and fed. You think I didn't feel you over there with your hammer of self-righteousness knocking on my aura this whole time? Why do you think I'm chanting? To try to keep it away from you. Yeah. And the young monk sat down and sobbed. And sobbed and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. Until all of the tears washed away the anger, washed away the misunderstanding, washed away the hatred that had built up in him. And he looked up, and the sun was shining, and the birds were singing. And here his mentor was, offering him a piece of fruit. And he said, would you like some fruit? And the young monk was able to say, yes, thank you. Yes, please. With your blessing, I will take the fruit. They became fast friends. And the young monk learned from the old monk many, many things. Over the decades they were friends, but none more important than that. There is a higher order in life. There is a higher good. But the most important is to be present now, here, in this moment. You do not have the future. The past is gone. Mulling upon the past, mulling upon all the wrongs that have been doing, it will do no good. It does no good at all. None. This is the eternal, ever-present, eternal time that you are, that thou art. Rest in it, relish it, enjoy it, cherish it. A 1,000 years later, there was a king in America. A king on the North American continent, let's say that. Lying on his bed, knowing he was going to leave the earth the next day. And he turned to his eldest child, and he said, in his quaint way, the most important thing I've learned here. You should listen carefully. The most important thing he's learned. Yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow's a promissory note. Today is the only currency you have. Let us be here now. And so they were. Let us be here now. Not in the past, not daydreaming about the future, or fear dreaming about the future, or mulling over the future, but being here now, in this present moment. to recognize that what we do now, what you do now, what I do now, it is everything. The totality of your day, the totality of your life is how you are living at this moment, in this day. Now think about that, my beloved. Think about it. Think about it very carefully. For what I'm saying is that if you speak kindly today, if you speak with graciousness, if you speak with kindness, if you can communicate with love, if you could find the right words instead of the harsh words, it changes everything. For that is the totality. This is the totality of our lives, is this very, very moment. For how I live in this moment, how you live in this moment, how we live this full day is the way that we live our whole lives. For this is your life. And the problem really becomes when we think that life is tomorrow. I'm going to do it when, I'm going to do it when, I'm going to do it when. Or we live with regrets. I wish, I wish, I wish. I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had. Well, you know, if you have a regret about something from yesterday that you missed, that you feel like you didn't have an opportunity to do, do it now. You wish you had been kinder to someone. Or you said something to someone that you didn't like the way you said it. So you go into meditation. And you call the image of that person up in your mind's eye. And you go back in your mind's eye and you say, let me see what I would do differently now. What am I going to do differently? And you see the situation and you change it. You either go back so that the situation does not occur. You're thinking a new thought. You're doing something new. The situation doesn't occur. Or, my beloved, yes, these are the wiser words I could have spoken. This is the tone I could have used. This is what I could have done differently. And then you do it now. You're doing it with the greatest tool that you have. You're doing it within the mind, the concentrated mind. And so, mystically, you are creating a new pattern, a new path. You go and you are redoing the experience in a more positive, in a more affirming, in a more galactic way in this moment. So that when the next moment arises, your mind will remember. For it is important to know that the mind of the human has a long, long memory. The mind of a human remembers everything. And I guess the word is not mind, the soul. The soul of the human has the imprint of every thought you've thought, of every word you've spoken, of every experience you've had. The soul has this imprint, and of your reaction to that. Your reaction to that. Not just the imprint, but your reaction to it. And so if there's something that was not acceptable to you, and you go back in this moment, and you change it in this moment. And you hold it in the mind's eye. Now all of a sudden the mind has the consciousness, the soul, now let me use the right word, the soul, the memory track has this experience that is acceptable to you. that your judgment says, yes, this is how I want it to be. Yes, this is how it should be. Yes, this is the way. Now, sometimes we have to do this more than once, you know. Sometimes there are other rituals that must be done in conjunction with. But the attitude that must be cultivated is the attitude of the moon in Cancer, which the moon has moved to today. The attitude of nourishment, of compassion, of kindness, of nurturing. Now there's another side which can be clingy, which can be possessive. But we must attune to the higher aspects of that moon in Cancer. The part of the moon in Cancer that is truly nurturing. And when you go back in your memory and you find that there's a hurt, something you want to do differently, you do it differently now. Now, you know, I repeat it because it's important. The sequence. Here's the event that rises in the mind. I want to do something about it. Now, at this moment, I close my eyes. I visualize how it's going to be different. What would make it optimal for me? What would make it optimal? And sometimes that takes a little bit of reflection, if you will, in the present moment. Well, I don't really know how that would be better. Well, maybe it would be better if it didn't happen. What would I have to do to go back to make sure that this event did not happen? You know, sometimes events between people occur, they always occur because of karma. They always occur because of the relationship of two planetary energies to each other. We don't always see that, but they always occur because of the karma is unfolding between two souls. Now, it's clear that there's karma that is what we would say external to you, but there really is no karma that's external. There's nothing that's really external to you. Everything is internal. Every event that happens to you, every circumstance that happens to you, it is your reaction to that that makes all the difference in the world. Your reaction to that. Now, I know, some of you are going to say, do you mean to tell me that when these people are violent and mean and cruel and hurting my family and hurting me, that it's my reaction to that that matters? Yes. Yes, it is. And if you want to see that, remember a few years back, this is just a contemporary example, a few years back, that wonderful Amish community, a young woman was murdered. Excuse me, I'm wrong. There were children, there were 6 children in their community that died. And the community got together. Now, I'm not saying they didn't mourn. They did. And I'm not saying they didn't grieve. They did. But they publicly forgave the person who was responsible for the death of those children. They came together as a community and they prayed. They came together as a community and they publicly forgave him. Now, that's powerful. To have something so heinous happen in your community. And rather than being angry, I'm sure they were angry. I'm sure they were sad. I'm sure they were grieving. but they felt that the right action was to forgive. Their values were such that they knew that it was more important to forgive than it was to become the young monk and hold on to the hurt and carry it for year after year after year after year. That, my beloved, takes practice. That's yoga. That's yoking the mind and the body together. That is sadhana, spiritual discipline, to say, here's what my values are. And you need to know your values. We all need to know our values. You need to know what's important to you. Non-violence is one of the principal values that is articulated by Sri Patanjali. Non-violence is articulated in most of the world religions and mystical traditions. But to live that, to live peacefully, requires skill. It requires a commitment. It does not mean to be stepped upon, but it does mean to say, what do I hold that is of greatest value, and what can I do at this time, in this moment, in this day, to let go of that which is not constructive, which is destructive. And so the mystery is to ask yourself, or the mystery to reveal to yourself, is what is it that you are holding, that you've been carrying for the last 10 years, the last 20 years, the last 40 years, some of you longer than that. What is the hurt that you've been carrying? What is the judgment towards others that you've been carrying? What is the fear that you've been carrying? And are you willing to let it go at this moment? Because you have the capacity to let it go. See, you must believe and understand you do have the ability to let it go. And you have the ability to find happiness. And you deserve it. You are deserving of it. You are worthy of it. Because too often our minds are filled with the idea that I have to hold on to this anger. I have to hold on to this hurt. If I do not, what am I? If I do not have this, what am I? If I do not have these emotions, what do I have? Everything. You are a part of life, a part of life, a microcosm of this great macrocosm that we are a part of. You are a part of the goodness of life. You don't have to see it all the time. You don't have to see it every minute. But to see it now, at this moment, is to see everything, to have everything. There are days, and this week, for some people, the days were not so good. There are good days, there are very good days, and then there are days that are they're kind of sort of good. And a dear friend called me earlier this week, and she'd had 2 really, really, really hard days. Really, really hard. And she said, this is a long time practicer, somebody who's practiced for a long, long time. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't do it. I have all these practices, And I was so overwhelmed that I could not hold on to any of them. I kept grasping and grasping and grasping and grasping. I said, yeah. Did you find anything? Did you find something? Did you find something that would help you? And she did. She did find something that would help her. It was something she did not want to do. She was not inclined to do. She felt like, no, she couldn't do it. But what did she do? She did it because of another. She did it because of the other. Her son came. Her husband came. They were trying to be kind and helpful to her. And while all she wanted was for them to go away, she stepped out of herself. And in stepping out of herself, just that little bit, and she really said, it was interesting to hear because I've never really heard her speak this, it was pretty tough for her. And she said, I really, the Saturn was so strong, so strong, I didn't think I could overcome it. But I had to do some little thing for them. And in doing that little thing for them, and just saying, I'll walk out of this room and I will come and sit with you, all of a sudden everything began to lift. And 24 hours later, the darkness was much better than it had been before. Even in the darkness, we need, as best as we can, to remember that there is a spot of light there. Find something to shine the light with. And remember in this moment to shine the light. Now, I will say to you that the Om is a great friend to have. That seeing the Om, concentrating on the Om, chanting the Om, befriending the Om, making the Om a habit in your life, so that when you have those moments that feel like the body is overwhelmed, the mind is overwhelmed, that you have something to go to. You have the Om. And all that it takes to break that cycle is just having that one thing, whatever it is, to go to. So that you can come back to this now, to this moment, and realize that, the sadness, well, the sadness, the anger, there's nothing happening here now. It's the moon. It's the subjective amplification. And so I can change it. I can change it just a little bit. And if I open the door and change it a little bit, it will change. It will change for you. It will change for me. Now, it sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? To say that present is more important than the past or more important than the future, if you want to give priority. But the present is often I'm not sure this is the right word. I was going to say the present is often contaminated by the past and the future. Contaminated by our memories of 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 our memories, altered 1,000 times over of the past, or our daydreams of the future, altered 1,000 times over. All the little variations, altered 1,000 times over. And so, what is to be done? Be present in this moment. There is meditation by Marcus Aurelius that I thought is quite wonderful to share. And it's interesting to read the ancient Greeks and to see how much the mysticism of Patanjali, the mysticism in the Vedas, the Upanishads, the old Eastern thought has carried forward to the Greek thought, the Roman thought, and into Western thought. But he says, external things are not the problem. It is your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. If the problem is something in your character, who is stopping you from setting your mind straight? And if it's that you're not doing something you think you should be, why not just do it? The cause of your inaction. There are sometimes inseparable obstacles, things that you cannot overcome because they're external to you. Then depart with good consciousness, as if you had done what you needed to do, and embrace the obstacles also. When the mind withdraws into itself and finds contentment, the mind is invulnerable. It does nothing against its will. The mind without passion is a fortress. No place is more secure. Once we take refuge there, we are safe forever. Those beautiful Marcus Aurelius meditations. And so, my beloved, today, at this moment, we will go into a meditation, a healing meditation, a meditation in which you have the opportunity to let go of the hurts of the past that you've carried to this moment, of the fears for the future that you've carried to this moment. It is time to forgive yourself for everything that you regret that you did, for everything that you regret that you failed to do. In this moment, there should be no regrets. In this moment, simply be present in the healing so that you can let go of the regrets. And I'm not minimizing it. I'm trying to say to you, you have the capacity within yourself to let go. You have the capacity to transform your consciousness. You have the capacity, and practice will give you the skills that you need so that even when the rain is coming down and pouring down, you know how to walk through the mud, so that your mind is well trained. It is important to train the mind so that you have the ability, when you run up against a problem, you have the ability to solve it. When you run up against a challenge, you have the capacity to solve it. And most importantly, that you feel a sense of confidence in yourself. That you feel a sense of self-confidence, my beloved. That you don't care, what difference does it make what Johnny Joe says, or Susie Q says, or Betty Ann says? Who cares? Their opinion should be not relevant to you. What is relevant is what you think about yourself and about life, and that you have the confidence to live happily, to live with joy, to live with kindness, to live with compassion, to bring these things into your life. And you know that may not be today, but it can be a lot of moments in this present moment. I can be happy, I can be happy, I can be happy, I am happy now. And don't worry about whether you're going to be happy tomorrow. Be happy now, and it will build and build and build and build, and you will be happy tomorrow.
had a friend who liked to exercise, but she'd always have a problem. Winter would come and, she couldn't go out and do her walking and everything. And so she'd get really lazy. And springtime would come and she'd think, I should go out, I should go out, I should go out. Oh, but I'm going to get so enjoying doing this. And then winter's going to come again. And then what do I do? And one year she said, maybe I should just go out and enjoy. She said, I should just go out and enjoy the walks. I should just go out and enjoy the outside. And I'll worry about the weather on the day that it comes. That's what I'm saying, my beloved. Prepare now. Make this day a day of joy, a day of happiness, a day of contentment for you. And have confidence in yourself that you can do that. Because you can. And let us meditate now together. Sitting with your spine erect, place your hands in the Om Mudra with the index finger and the thumb together. Hands placed on the thighs. And turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Use the sipping breath as if sipping through a straw. Pull the energy from the limbs to the trunk. Again, from the trunk to the spinal column. And now from the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden light in front of you. And sweep it around to the left and behind you. 3 times wrapping your body in golden light. Expand that light. And now ascend as high as you are able. Ascend to the high place. Reaching the high place, you will begin your journey to the shrine of healing. Walking along the path, you see the path in front of you lit by crystals, crystal gems of all sizes, of all shapes. You walk along the path, and as you climb into the forest, you see the crystals lighting the way. And you hear the sound of the Om radiating forth through the crystals, through the trees, through the ground. You ascend further. As your path opens up, you come to a field.
And you see all of the ancient healers gathered in the field, pouring forth their blessings upon you as you walk. You ascend upward into the forest, the crystals and the healers joining you. You enter the clearing, and you have come to the shrine of healing. You feel the ancient ones surrounding the shrine, the ancient crystals, the ancient trees, and you walk within them. You walk amongst them. Their light radiates forth upon you. And you stand under the light, breathing in the light pouring upon you from all directions, pouring down upon your crown center, filling every cell of your being with healing light. Letting go. Be present at this moment in the light. Be present and feel the light filling every cell of your being, pouring down upon you continually.
Feel yourself nourished by the light, fed by the light, filled by the light. The light of all the colors you need pouring down upon you, breathing in, filling you, washing away all that needs to be let go of. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Ananda, Om Ananda, Om Ananda. Da, da, da. Leaving the shrine of healing, knowing you can return here at any time. Return to your high place of meditation. And call upon your Ishtadevata to be with you, your chosen form of the Divine One. Together let us send forth our blessings to all of those in need, beginning first with those who you love, sending forth your blessing with the Om Shanti to your beloved on this side or the other. Radiate forth the golden light. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of your family, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. of those who have been of help to you in your life, your teachers, your mentors, your helpers. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those in need of water, we offer water and the blessings of Ananda. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For those in need of nourishment, we send you nourishment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For those souls whose hearts are hardened, we send you these blessings that the hardened heart may be softened. That each of us become kinder, that each of us become wiser, more compassionate, and nonviolent to ourselves and to others. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just send forth our blessings to all of those souls who are feeding us, whose work feeds our lives. The farmers, the grocers, the truckers, the drivers, the cashiers, the cooks, all of the helpers who nourish us with food, with teachings, with meditation. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And now let us send forth our blessing to the others, to those who our personalities may not like, who may have done something that we didn't care for, we don't care for, we don't like their personalities. Let us offer them these blessings in spite of that. For they too are worthy. And if you and I can send our blessings to those whom we do not prefer, we do not like, we dislike, our personalities dislike them, then we are blessing ourselves. For we are a part of life, they are a part of this that we are a part of. And let us chant the Om Shanti 3 times, radiating forth that golden light, that that which they need will come to them at the right time, at the right place, in the right way. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, pour forth thy blessings at this moment.
Feel the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pouring down upon you. Know, my beloved, that you are seen, that you are accepted, that you have the ability to be happy. You can choose in this moment to be filled with bliss. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Ananda, 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 da, da. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Om Guru Vyo Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for the blessings of your yoga city, of your presence, of your beautiful meditative energy. Namaste. Be thou blessed. Have a joy-filled day.